We are on the Israeli side of the Syrian-Israeli border. We're a few hundred yards from Syrian territory. Take a look over my shoulder. Off in the distance, you can see the Syrian villages, many of which are now still rebel-held. You can see off in the distance the signs of the civil war. Some of these villages have been flattened. The question now, after the airstrikes last night, will the Assad regime use this as a catalyst to try and retake this territory? Soon after the attacks early this morning, there were pro-Assad demonstrations in Damascus. People poured into the streets, waving Syrian, Russian, as well as Iranian flags. So the attack might now be over, but the war of words, that only continues to escalate. The Russian President Vladimir Putin saying that this act of aggression will exacerbate humanitarian catastrophes in Syria. Also harsh words from Iran, quoting now the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Islamic Republic of Iran, strongly condemns U.S. and its allies' missile attacks in Syria and warns its regional and transboundary effects. The General Secretary for NATO also weighed in, supporting the attack. Israel also endorsing the airstrikes, saying the Assad regime's murderous actions, that's a quote, put itself in danger. We also heard from the Prime Minister of the UK shortly after the attacks took place, Theresa May. She said they were successful. Listen.
This was not about interfering in a civil war, and it was not about regime change. As I discussed with President Trump and President Macron, it was a limited, targeted and effective strike with clear boundaries that expressly sought to avoid escalation.
And on the ground in Syria at this hour, a fact-finding team from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. It's important to note here, their mission is to determine if chemical weapons were used, not to point the finger at any particular party. Back to you.
All right, David Miller live for us.
Thank you, David.